As I was listening to some of the podcasts you're on and reading some of the articles about you and stuff, you've got this like core tenet about why not me. And it seems like it's like really weaved its way through your entire story. So I'm curious, where did that start? And what was like one of the first places that you noticed that and then started to like let that carry out through where we've ended up today?
Honestly, I think one of the first moments that I felt that was watching Shark Tank growing up and seeing just normal, everyday people who have no business background starting a business and being successful in it. I was like, these people haven't even gone to school for business or marketing or whatever, and they have built something really meaningful for themselves. And I look at myself in the mirror. I'm like, why couldn't that be me? And then I've had so many more different areas of my life or things that I've decided to do where I've been faced with that, and I'm like, these people have done it. Why can't I do it?
Mm. Is that something that you got pushback on, when you started to adopt that belief, whether it was in sports or school or like early entrepreneurial journeys?
I would say it was more of a, like, protection of, "Oh, if you are gonna do this thing, like, be careful," or "Don't do it, you might fail," and just a projection of other people's own ability to believe in themselves that would rub off on me because at the end of the day, they just wanted to protect me from failing, and
Mm,
I'm like, "Yeah, but these people have done it," and so I'm just gonna follow the playbook and I'm also gonna do it. And then once you prove something to yourself and you prove something to other people, you realize those people that maybe were questioning you or weren't believing in you, they start to just quiet down a little bit and
yeah.
just trust in the path that you've set for yourself.
Were there any moments where you really started to lean into that, and, like, start to go your own way or start to kinda, like, take some of those moonshots, as you were growing up?
Honestly, I feel like it probably started when I was in high school and I decided that I'm gonna have an identity change and I'm gonna really rock the boat with what everyone perceives Hannah to be. And so
Interesting.
I came out as gay when I was 15 years old in South Dakota, and that definitely took my family by surprise at the time. And that was my first kind of moment where I'm like, okay, I got to go against the grain, and I'm going to lean into who I am and be authentic with this. And same with everything that I decided to do. Like I did this crazy internship in college, and my parents are also like, do not do that. And I did it anyway, and that's just kind of been who I am. Like if someone doubts me or says I shouldn't do something, I have now fully committed to the bit, and I am now leaning in even further to this. So, it's funny because that's happened in so many different parts of my life, but it definitely started, I would say, in the identity shift.
Interesting. Yeah,
Yeah.
South Dakota is not, the most right place for that to, like, land on, like, excited ears, I feel like. I grew up in, Montana and Idaho, so I definitely,
Yeah,
like,
you can
get
relate.
the vibe of the whole thing, yeah, so, um, that's interesting. I kinda have a similar story where a lot of the like early phases of hey you can do big things were just like it was just kind of like ingrained in me for whatever reason. And so whether it was like sports and being willing to transfer high schools to do that or starting businesses early, I just like was always comfortable just talking about doing bigger things than what I was doing. But that for me, like it really started like the entrepreneurial thing like clicked really quickly because I think it was like a very natural hey here's a way to go against the grain and just do whatever it is that you feel like brings value to the world. And so I'm curious for you, like, when did that start to set in for you? And was that like part of this, hey, why not me sort of mentality?
Hmm. I think for me, I didn't realize really what I wanted to do until I was like 19. And at the time, I was going to school for elementary education. I was following a path that a lot of my family had followed, and I was comfortable in that. I was like, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up, but you guys seem to have a nice life. And sure, I'll go to school to be a
Yeah.
teacher. And looking back, I think it's hilarious, but it was just a different it's funny how, like, there's correlations to how being a teacher can also reflect in helping people figure out what they're capable of, which is ultimately now what I know my purpose is. but it took a long time to get there, and it took me honestly just having really good people around me, and I had a friend, and we were chatting it up late at night one night, and the semester we were about to reach a new semester, and he was like, "Hannah, why are you going to school for elementary education when you don't shut up about building a business, being entrepreneurial? Like, go to school for business." And I was like,
Yeah.
"That makes sense." I thought people chose business degrees when they had no idea what they wanted to do. And
Yep.
I'm like, "Oh, okay." So now I'm going with this mindset of like, I want business to be the center of what I'm learning. And I think through that, I opted into any opportunity that I could get my feet wet with owning a business, being an entrepreneur, building a team, all the things. And through that, I eventually was working at a marketing agency and getting to help small businesses with building their business. And at that point, it was so clear to me how much passion I have helping others succeed in their dreams and the passions that they have, or helping people figure out how to have a more aligned life that is full of energy and full of life. And that I think just came with doing and being clear about what is the step in front of me, not like I think a lot of people get stuck in like, what is my purpose and what am I here for? And it's like, just think about your interest in this singular moment and just take a step towards that thing, and eventually it will become clear to you, because I didn't know when I was pursuing business that my greater purpose was actually to help others. It took just me being interested in learning about business to eventually get there.
Right. So it's like if you don't have the entire picture, that's okay, but just like start painting something.
Yeah, start painting something, like, what's your favorite color right now? Pick it up and go.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I like that a lot. I think that one of the hard things for people when they're, like, making a shift like that, going from that elementary education into business, is there's this idea of, like, this sunk cost fallacy where whatever the picture is, it's like, well, I already told my friends that I'm going to be a teacher, and I told my family I was gonna be a teacher, and, like, what if me changing is gonna be perceived by people as like, well, I don't actually know what I'm doing, or I'm actually being crazy, or, like, I'm not committing to this bit that I said I was gonna do. And I think people get stuck there a lot. There's, like, this ego thing that's attached to, like, well, I said I was gonna do this, so now what happens if I don't do that? So how did you make that shift from being willing to be like, I was on this track, and this is what people knew me to be pursuing, and now I'm just gonna do this entirely different thing.
Yeah. My favorite thing is changing my mind, and it takes practice because, like you said, so many people are scared of the perception of how others are gonna feel about, "Oh, but I committed to this and I said I was gonna do this," but it just comes with so much self-awareness and so much self-respect too, and I think ultimately when you can decide to change your mind, what that actually does to other people, instead of questioning you, it allows, especially if you really stand on business and like you say, "I'm changing my mind because this wasn't aligned for me." I realized new things about myself that didn't fit the picture of what that version was gonna become, and I'm in a new timeline now. I'm in a new chapter, like, I'm using new vocab words, so I need to
Yeah.
fit. I need to be over here. And I think when you can do that in a confident way and feel sure of yourself and you express that externally, nobody will question you. You know, it's like when you have that amount of self-awareness and confidence to move, it's like I'm getting closer to my dream life and not staying stuck in this version of someone else's dream of who I should become. So
Mm,
I think changing your mind is just getting more clear about who you are and gaining more self-awareness, which is such a skill set that, again, so many people I feel like plateau and just stay comfortable, but it's like, but you're meant for more. You're meant for more and you feel it inside of you. There's so many people probably listening to this right now that are on the pursuit of something or want to be on the pursuit of something or have always thought about it or have a side hustle. Like that little thing, if you water it a little bit more, you'll realize there's new flowers that you never knew were there before, or there's weeds, right? And that's when you decide, "Oh, these weeds, they gotta go. They gotta go,
yeah.
and I'm ready to plant new stuff in this area." So, yeah, I think changing your mind is such a skill set, but it really just comes from practicing self-awareness and making sure, like, you're living your life for yourself.
Hmm. Is it a misconception that the self-awareness and the self-respect and, like, the confidence has to come before changing your mind about something or has to come before making a big step? Because it seems that there's a lot of confidence and stuff that comes after making that leap and then getting the feedback from the world where it's like, "Holy shit, it's okay to change my mind. It's okay to change this like, chase this passion."
Totally. No, I completely agree with that. I think it can come before, I think it also can come after, but you have to almost, I say, talk the talk before you can really walk the walk. So, like, speaking your truth in a way that even if you don't believe it, but, like, externally, you're saying it in a confident way or you're saying it in an assured way that, like, allows you to move and actually change your mind, then you will feel the feelings that you were trying to portray before doing said thing, that will come after. So, yeah, I think it's ultimately it could be before, it could be after, but, like, speaking still with the conviction as though you do already feel confident in making that move.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm with you 100% there. There's a really interesting parallel in your story that I wanted to dig into where when you started getting into business, I've heard you talk about being like, I'm willing to apply this skill set that I've learned in marketing and through doing all of these like projects essentially. I'm willing to apply it to anywhere where I can like add value. And I want to help people. I want to see business owners thrive. I want to be like a successful part in somebody's story. um, I faced that exact same thing coming out of college where it was like every internship I said yes to. I ended up working at a marketing agency and like helping a bunch of businesses that way. But I always felt this like sense in me where I had like this burning passion to do like something and to help and to like essentially like I had this like Ferrari engine that like I couldn't get into gear. Like I couldn't get it to hook up and actually go somewhere. And I was like waiting for like, when do I get to drop this into a car and actually go somewhere? And so it sounds like finding Seek might have been that thing for you. And I'm curious, like, what was it like being in that chapter where it's like, I have the skill set, I know I like helping people, but like, I don't know if I've actually found the thing yet.
Yeah, I mean, I was in that for so long, and I can relate to that story of just, you know, you have this ability to do more with the skill set that you have. What can I apply this to? Like, I was so hungry to apply it to anything. Like, if you came to me,
What was that chapter like? Like, what were you getting up to? What were you saying yes
oh
to?
my gosh, I mean, if you were around me at that time, I was like, likely convincing you of starting a business of some random thing that I saw on the internet, or if you brought, you know, an idea to me, I'd be like, "Let's make this a business." Like, I was that person that my friends would be around where I'm constantly thinking of ideas or in the conversation, things that would elevate whatever we were talking about, and I'm, like, always thinking about business, and I was
Okay.
just passionate. Passion has been, like, the undertone of my chapter of business and entrepreneurship and just life in general since I was, like, 18,
Hmm.
and, yeah, at that time, I was basically yeah, anything that came my way, I was swinging, that me and my friend, we had this thought I had this thought, and I somehow convinced her to start the business with me, but I love the feeling of putting on a new pair of socks, like,
Okay.
brand new, never been worn. It's like a different kind of, like, clean feeling, and I'm
Yep.
like, "You should start a sock subscription company called Socks in a Box, and we should just simply sell plain, like, blank socks." Like, there's no designs. We're not trying to be, like, sexy with this. We're just trying to be like, "This feels good."
Yep.
And so, yeah, I mean, we started that side project of Socks in a Box. We started me and another friend, Balance Burgers, which was, like, our take on healthy fast food. Um, I started this, like, mom brand diaper bag business, like, drop shipping, but ended up getting inventory, like, so many different things. I was flipping things all the time. I still do when I find random furniture or things on the side of the road. Like, I
Can't help yourself. Yeah.
so that is, like, true, like, grit, and I was just listening to a podcast yesterday of a reseller and hearing some of their stories and buckets that they were getting into is just really bringing me back to memories of all the random things I was doing that ultimately, finally, I got to apply to building Seek, but it took all those things and just passion of, like, I don't care what I'm gonna apply it to, I'm not gonna wait to apply to anything. I'm going to just get on the bike and ride it.
I was really curious how we were gonna be able to weave this in, but I have to know about you drop shipping or you, like, selling knockoff Yeezys. I have to know.
I mean, honestly, I wish I could go back and talk to that version of myself, but yeah, we were like, I don't know, 16, I think, when Yeezys really became a thing, and I was on Alibaba. and getting fake Yeezys and like like other Nike shoes, and I was like, "These are nice." Like, I started getting them at different price points that you could get on Alibaba, or AliExpress, and, yeah, I would receive some of these shoes, I'm like, "These are nice." Like, I know there's people that don't wanna be spending hundreds of dollars on these sneakers, but want to wear these sneakers, and so I
Yep.
bought some, like, pretty high quality ones. I remember I bought some, like, $20 ones that they were so flimsy, like, I think they could've like, if I took one step on a stair, I think they would have
Yeah.
disintegrated.
Right.
But I bought some that had a little bit more integrity to them, and I marketed them and everything as, like, these are not real authentic Yeezys. Definitely got, I think, my, like, there was some not like Poshmark, but there's another one that Mercari, I
Mhm.
think I got banned on Mercari for selling inauthentic shoes. But yeah, there's like a few sneakers that I bought that I was like, "Okay, like, I have an opportunity here to make, a couple $100 while I'm in high school just for fun," and, it just again was a proof point of, "Okay, if I can do this, then I can continue to resell stuff, that's a big opportunity, but then I can also apply this skill set to other things, and I have this ability to sell." And so, yeah, the Yeezy chapter is really what built me.
This is all due to Yeezys and, AliExpress.
Thank you.
Yeah, same kinda thing. I was in college, and all of my, like, friends and stuff I was never into, like, nicotine, thank goodness, but all of my buddies were super into, like, Puff Bars when they first came out. It was, like, right after the Juul phase and right when Puff Bars came out, and same thing on Alibaba, you could get them for, like, 20 cents a unit if you ordered, like, 1,000 of them. So I was like, "Well, instead of you guys going to the gas station, I'll just put them in my dorm room, and it's way quicker for you guys to get them here than there." Yeah, so it was like a $19 profit margin every time I sold a $20 vape to somebody,
Dude.
and yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, I feel like there's such a big unlock where it's like you can just find things in the world that are like you can make people's lives more convenient or like like you can do your own thing and make money and you don't have to like wait for somebody to hire you to do something. I think that was just like the biggest unlock for me, even though it came in a very interesting, weird
No,
little side pursuit.
I have such a parallel to that. I've never shared this story before, but it feels relatable in this moment, and it really just goes to one, you were identifying what the market wanted at the time and figuring out a way to be successful and get a few extra bucks on it, and I
Yeah.
was in that same mindset when I was in college. It was like when the big vapes were like a thing and like everyone was blowing huge clouds and all this stuff, so people had the vape
Yeah.
juice, just buying disposables, and I was like, "Vape juice is so expensive," and I had a friend, that was making their own vape juice and selling it to their friends, and I was like, "I could do that." Like, my friends and the people around me in college, they are spending, like, $40 a bottle on this vape juice. I'm like, "I could sell it for $10 and be making a lot of money on it." And so I
Yep.
literally bought all of the supplies to make my own
Boom.
vape juice, which is not
Hannah the chemist.
I stand behind this, which I don't, but it was like, yeah, everyone's doing this, I'm gonna give them an easier solution, and I'm gonna make some money off of this, so I had my little science experiment. We coulda collabed at that point.
Yeah, seriously, we could we could have started a whole thing. Oh, that's so great, especially now thinking about, like, all of the, like, food safety stuff that I'm sure you deal with SEEQ. That's gotta be, like, the funniest to look back at, like, the dorm room chemist experiment.
Mhm.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so I'm super glad we got to talk about the Yeezys and that you, came out as a drug dealing vape juice fan. What's up, everybody? We're taking a quick pause from the show to ask one small favor. When we were looking at the stats of the show, we noticed that most of the people that listen consistently actually aren't subscribed to the show yet. So, the one ask that we have today is if you could take 10 seconds and whatever platform you're listening on right now, head over to our page and hit the subscribe button, and it would be a huge help for us. Growing our subscribers helps us bring on more awesome guests, and it really helps us build a community of people like you that we're trying to foster with this thing. So that's the one ask that we have. Please go hit that subscribe button, and let's get back to the show. So tell me about like the feeling that when Seek came around, and talk to me about like kind of where you're at in your journey with starting and talking to your friends about doing a lot of things, jumping all in on all this. What took you out of that, "Okay, I'm gonna do anything and everything and just say yes," to, "Okay, now we're gonna go and, like, do this thing with Seek," which obviously has become, like, the thing?
Yeah, I think ultimately it was for me the alignment with everything. Like, the other things didn't work. There were reasons why the other things didn't work and why I didn't wanna go deeper in them. Again, like, pivoting and changing your mind will get you closer to where you wanna be the faster that you do it. And I think ultimately to build a business that not only you're proud of, but that has the ability for you to, like, really pour into for years and years and years, you need to have some type of alignment with it that and a big passion and why behind it, and for me, Seek made so much sense. So me and Ben, we met at a marketing agency. He was an intern for a few months. I was full-time. He came back about a year later after his internship and gave out samples of Clear Protein to us, and I again, at the time, this was me like, "Business idea, let's ride, like, let's go."
Yeah.
But this was, like, business idea, and I'm a consumer. Like, I used to work at a supplement store. I had a fitness account that I was doing at the time. I was, like, all in on health and wellness, and I loved learning about it, and I loved helping people on their journeys and their goals, and so this product not only applied to me, it fixed a problem that I had. I didn't love, chocolate and vanilla or cookies and crunch or whatever, like, not my thing.
Same.
I would do it because I had certain goals and I wanted to hit them, so I would find all the ways to hack, a protein shake to taste amazing.
Mhm.
But it's like, I don't wanna go through all these hoops to have a simple routine that I'm reaching my goals in and creating all this friction behind, so I was like, I'm a fucking consumer of this. I love this. We need to build this business tomorrow. Like, let's go. Do you wanna talk? Do you wanna be a
Yeah.
soundboard? Be a
I'm
soundboard.
on the way already, dude.
I'm like, "What are we doing here?" And we literally started meeting that next day and, ultimately a year later, built Seek, but it's like, why didn't those other things work? Like, why didn't the other things, I continued to build anything on those? It's like, because I couldn't relate to those things all the time. Like, vape juice, that was, like, a moment in time of, like, the opportunity. I'm like, "But that's not who I am. I'm not aligned with that, and that's just doesn't make sense." The diaper bags, I'm not a mom, like, I don't have a baby, like, I don't have the same needs, and, like, I'm not the consumer of this product. The socks, it's like, I mean, I would honestly be a consumer of socks in a box. I'm like, "This brand isn't sexy or fun," where I'm like, "I'm so stoked to build this."
Yeah.
So it was like a bunch of stars aligned for sure to build Seek, but it came back to like why this is something that I'm still super passionate about is because I'm still a consumer of it myself. I'm passionate about health and wellness. I'm passionate about helping people unlock their best self through health. And yeah, I think ultimately you have to have that kind of relationship to what you wanna build. Otherwise, you're not gonna be able to feel motivated or wake up every day saying like, "I'm ready to freaking go," you know?
Yeah, 'cause there is a lot of really, like, down times along that journey where it's just like, I don't like, if you're not super passionate about it, I feel like a lot of those downtimes is, like, where you lose the war of attrition that just exists inside a business.
Completely.
Um But without getting too far down, like, the nerdy business thing, I am really curious for you. Obviously, you've like when somebody comes to you with a new business idea and there's an opportunity in the market or it seems like there's, like, some leverage somewhere, that piece is, like, exciting enough where you're willing to start socks in a box or start selling knockoff Yeezys or be the vape juice lord for a little bit. So, like, what how was it different after you talked to Ben about Seek? Like, talk to me about that night or that day after the conversation between that moment and, like, talking the next day about, "Hey, let's actually start this thing." Did it feel different at the time?
I would say the same energy and passion probably felt the same at the beginning, like, I, again, was just so passionate about ideas and business and people wanting to start something, so I think it was different in the sense of it wasn't me trying to convince other people, it was like Ben already was convinced about this, and so I got to then be a part of something that he was already passionate about. I'm passionate about building this. It's like when you bring 2 passionate people together who have a delusional, optimistic outlook on life and what's capable, like, really, that's when magic happens. So it was like my energy, but like it was potent because Ben was also already bought in on, I think this product is something that people want. So it was different from that perspective of having another person that was like really driven and believed in what they were building.
That makes a ton of sense. I'm curious what it's like having at the very beginning a partner where you guys are in it from like legit day one together. Because I think that being in the business world, you hear warnings all the time about like how important it is to select a partner. Or some people just believe that you shouldn't go into partnerships at all. And clearly, you guys have had a really great run together, and it sounds like your like puzzle pieces fit really well. And so I'm curious what that journey has been like for you two, and if and like essentially what made you down to be like, yep, I'm just gonna partner with this or in this with you. Like, let's go do this thing.
Yeah, I'm very much, the type of person that, like, I will believe you're a good person and I will trust you from the very beginning. My guard is very much down in most relationships because I love to believe that most people are good. So me and Ben, we only had, like, 3 months of working together, and this was, like, a while back before we had reconnected, and we weren't like friends in the sense of like I'm
Yeah.
hanging out with you. It's like if I see you around, I'll be like, "What's up?" So from that perspective, I mean, honestly, from his end, he had been working on Seek and getting samples, I think, for like 4 months or 6 months or so before reconnecting with me. And at that point, we're like mid-COVID. He couldn't find a mechanical engineering job. He's living out of his parents' house. He's going all in on trying to build a business of some sort. And so he already had a little bit of his chapter of kind of starting to, play around with what this future could look like with Seek. So honestly, it's way more trusting for him to bring me in the business
Mm,
at the time because he had already started, 4 or 6 months ahead of us connecting. But for me, it was I think the best I mean, so many businesses fail because of co-founder relationships, and
mhm.
that's probably the warning sign that so many people give, but I feel so lucky in mine and Ben's partnership and how we've built this business and how we've just consistently complemented each other on our own strengths in the business and allowing each other to really grow in our lanes and not step on each other's toes too much. There's definitely been moments where obviously you're not gonna agree on everything, but it's like when you can remove ego and you can leave pride at the door and you can just care about growing this one thing, this is the only thing that matters. So, like, all the decisions that we're making, is this beneficial towards the brand that we're building? I think it's so important to be able to have a partner that you can leave your pride and ego at the door, and it's like, we're a team in building this, and there's no, my way is the right way. It's like, let's talk about the pros and cons of each of these things. Like, it's a delicate dance, but it's so important, and it's also a really good skill set to learn in general of how to work with others and build something big. It's like we basically, our baby. We're creating the Seek universe, and this is our baby, and we need to make sure that it's fed and it's given the right things to allow it to grow into who we want it to become, and yeah, it's been a challenge in different regards at different stages of growth. But just coming back to us allowing ourselves to grow in our own lanes has been really important to the business.
That yeah, super important advice for a lot of people listening to that. Um, you guys have had a extremely your like exponential growth curve has gone very quickly. Like the flat part of that growth curve didn't seem like it lasted very long for Seek. So walk me through kind of once you guys partner up, what do the early days of Seek look like? And then what did gaining some of the traction that really like kind of put you guys in that hockey stick growth mode? How did some of those dominoes kind of fall as your guys' journey kicked off?
Yeah, as we first got started, I mean, the number one thing was product. We needed product. And so we were trying so many samples from so many manufacturers of what they could create with clear protein. And mind you, this is 2020. So clear protein is not what it is today. And there's, a few manufacturers. We're reaching out to all of them. All the MOQs are just insane. We're 20 something year olds, pretty much right out of college, and we have no money to invest into this.
Yeah.
And so we were trying to find a supplier that could do something for a lower MOQ and, uh, taste good. That's, like, the most important thing with the consumables, like, taste is king, so, like, we have to enjoy this, and
Uh-huh.
ended up having to go to, the first manufacturer actually that we went to, we circled back to them, but their MOQs were insane. It was, like, 2,000, per, flavor, so we wanted to launch with 2
Oh,
flavors,
wow.
so that means 4,000 units. It ended up being close to 6 figures as far as the investment was going to be, and Ben put together a business plan, and basically the business plan was we're gonna sell this out through TikTok
Okay.
and somehow convinced his parents to take their money out of stocks to invest in the first round of inventory. And truly amazing that they believed in us so much that they allowed not only to invest the money, but they also allowed us to take over their entire house in
We got a warehouse.
and, like, we rearranged their whole living room. There was no living room basically at that point, and, like, it was floor to ceiling filled with SEEQ, and we're like, "We have no idea how long we're gonna take to sell this, but we're gonna do whatever it takes, and we're gonna sell it eventually, and we know that." So we went all in on TikTok at the time, and I think Ben had posted because we went all in on his TikTok more specifically and building from a person versus a brand,
Mhm.
and we went all in. I bet he posted like a few dozen times before we landed on the idea to go out on the street, sample our product, and get live reactions of people trying to seek for the first time. And once you do that, the product and the videos, they become so interesting because people have great reactions to something that they've never seen before.
Yep.
Reactions like, "What? I can't believe this is protein. Protein can taste like water, like a juice." Like all these different call outs were like, this is gold, and we put that on social. First video we post ends up going viral. This isn't our first week of launching the business, so this is now October of 2021. We're posting all these videos. First week of launch, we finally post a sampling video. Sampling video pops off. We're getting, like, a dozen plus orders from random strangers. It's no longer friends and family just ordering, and
Mhm.
post another sampling video. We have a lot of traction with the sampling content, so we know that's a lane that we can continue to rinse and repeat. Now Ben wanted to create other lanes of series content that was also really popping off at the time. So, creating a series around something that people could already connect to. So, he created a series around Shark Tank and trying to get on Shark Tank, basically just like Journey to Shark Tank series. And through that video, this was now November of 2021, we're call it halfway sold out maybe. We have another 2,000 units to sell. Start the Shark Tank series, that starts to really gain a lot of traction. We're 75 to 85% sold out. Jake Cuban, Mark Cuban's son, sees this series, he must have, and ordered the product. We saw the order come through and we're like, "I think this is going to be delivered to Mark Cuban's house. We need to, like, get his attention somehow to, like, comment and say that he's had our product or something." And so
Mhm.
Ben is, like, figuring out the strategy on the content and scripting and whatever, and then that day, Mark Cuban posts on his channel about SEEK, still lives on his page today, and yeah, posts about SEEK. We get a we get a notification of him tagging us in the video, and we're like, I mean, obviously, grew up watching Shark Tank, like, my jaw is dropped, his jaw is dropped.
Yeah.
What is happening right now? And at that point, we're at the end of November, it's early December, we're sold out. We had no intention at that point of what the future was gonna look like. Like, we were like, "Do we order a second round of inventory?" At that point, we're like, "We have to order a second round of inventory," but it's not like we did it 4 weeks earlier so we would be able to be in stock, like, we were not thinking about those things.
Mhm.
And so that's really when all the momentum started for us and ultimately started for Clear Protein. We at the end of the day, like Clear Protein, there was a couple players in the game, but they weren't really doing anything to create awareness around the category. It was just a product that they had. And we
Mhm.
started to really build awareness for this category. And I mean, now 5 years later, there's dozens of Clear Protein brands. It's pretty amazing to look at the track record.
Absolutely. It's one of the coolest stories that I've heard, and especially because there's just like it seems like such a grassroots movement that you guys started around this thing. I have to know. So I want to like, there's a couple of points in those I really want to dig into. The first one being the like friends and family financing round that you guys did with Ben's family. When you say that Ben put together this business plan and it was like, we're gonna go on TikTok and we're gonna sell this thing out. Was there a moment where you guys like came and did like full on investor pitch style in the living room? Like, what did that conversation actually look like when it was like asking them if they would help out?
Yeah, I mean, Ben updated his parents, like, almost every night on, like, the business and stuff and just gave them kind of the 411 on what's going on, and he had written, like, the target market and the financials and, like, some of the other things in, like, a traditional business plan, but it was just simply on a piece of paper, and I believe I wasn't there for this moment of him talking it through to his parents about the investment, but I believe it was just them at the kitchen table and talking about what's needed to build the business, and thankfully, Steve and Kate just deeply believe in Ben and the business, and they were like, "We'll invest because we believe in you," you know? And I think that's just really cool. A lot of people don't have that. We were very, very fortunate in that regard to get started in that way and not have to do a loan presentation or go get investors or get a loan from the bank or whatever.
Mhm.
So that moment, Ben actually made a video recently on his page where he was talking to his dad about the investment and why he decided to do that. And it's really great, honestly. It's just really wholesome to see a parent just believe in their kid.
Yeah, absolutely. Was there, what was it like getting the phone call or like when Ben told you about it? What was your reaction?
I mean, I was like, "Fuck yes." Like, that is awesome. Also, like, goosebumps, like, everywhere. Like, anytime I share this story, like, I have goosebumps right now. It's like, truly, I feel so fortunate and grateful that my life has aligned itself in the way that it has to put me in the environment to build a business with Ben, who has parents that are capable of investing that amount of money into our business. So truly, I just felt so grateful in that moment and just, wow, we're so lucky.
Do you remember what you're doing? I'm picturing like this like record scratch moment where like the phone rings and it's like, we're alive, we're a go. Like
I don't, but I do for when we first got our warehouse and we got the call from our realtor that we got our warehouse. We were in Miami and doing we always had quarterly meetings to identify what's needed for that quarter to move forward in the business and then also like annual planning. And we were in our quarterly planning going into the year 2022. So we're like 2 months into business. We're thinking
Mhm.
about house. We know we needed to upgrade from the parents' house. No more protein could possibly fit there.
Yep.
And, I do remember that call where I'm like, "Oh my gosh, this is becoming way more real now." Like, we're actually getting our own warehouse, our own office, like, that we get to have people packing orders and, like, trucks to pick them up. Like, it was, like, legit.
Yeah.
So that was one of those moments where I definitely won't forget.
It was like, holy shit, we have to shop for forklifts now. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
No, seriously, seriously.
Oh, that's so cool. Okay, the next thing I have to know about is the Mark Cuban moment. So, how when you guys saw the order come in from the Sun, was that did you know already? Like, did you have the spidey sense? It's like, oh shoot, this thing might pop off right now, or was it like maybe it's going to Mark Cuban's house?
It was definitely the latter. I remember Ben, he called me and he's like, "Hey, we just got an order with the last name Cuban from Dallas, Texas. I think it's Mark Cuban." And I was like, "Whoa, what?" I'm like, "Google Earth that house. Like, what does this house look
S
like?"
Stalk them immediately. This is where it's great to have a woman on the team because it's like, we're gonna find out.
And yeah, we pull up the address on Google Earth and you can see like the overhead of like this just giant white mansion. And then there's like a YouTube video that Ben found of Mark Cuban's house tour or something. And it was like, yes, that's for sure his house. Like this is not
Boom.
some troll. And um yeah, it was one of those moments where we're like, okay, but like is he even gonna try it? Like, is there even an opportunity to get his attention? Like, what is the outcome of this, and how can we capture that? And,
Mhm.
yeah, it was one of those moments, like, is there even an opportunity to make this, like, known to the public that he has tried our product? So it was really one of those moments too where, like, I remember Ben FaceTiming me. I think I have a screenshot of our FaceTime, like, both of our just, like, faces me that Mark Cuban posted, like, he got the notification, and I go and they look, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like, I cannot believe this is our life."
Oh my gosh, that must have been the biggest, like, I think that there's, like, this perception of, like, an "I made it" moment, the end of your journey when you exit and you're on the yacht and all these things, but I think what is in reality is there's, like, a lot of "I made it" moments along the way, and I'm curious, was that, like, the biggest 10 out of 10 "I made it" moment up to that point, that you guys had, like, experienced?
I mean, you grow up watching Shark Tank and wanna be an entrepreneur, and then you build a business, then you have one of the sharks themselves trying and rating your product 10 out of 10, telling you you should be on Shark Tank. It's definitely one of those moments where it's like, we're doing this. Like, this is
Mm.
a business that has legs and, like, we're ready to run.
Did that change your view on the business from being like, "We have a good product, we have a plan, we have some marketing that works." Did it change your outlook on what was possible with the business when that moment happened?
At that moment, we looked at each other and we said, "We can for sure be $100 million brand." It was no longer like, "We don't know when we're gonna order the second round of inventory," to, "We have a real business and we, I believe, can build this thing to $100 million."
What's the feeling that comes with that?
I mean, a rush of, like, joy and happiness and just, like, that euphoric feeling and, like, levity of, like, "Oh my gosh," like, you feel like you're floating. I would say that's probably the feeling that I could relate it most to. Or it's almost like the same feeling, like, when you're about to be, like, going down on a roller coaster and, like,
Yeah.
in your stomach, like, "Oh my gosh, like, there's something bubbling up here," but, like, that it feels true and it feels right, like, this isn't some, like, I'm watching a movie and I have emotions coming up because 'cause I'm watching the characters. It's like I am the character and, like, I feel it and I'm embodying it. So, that feeling, I mean, definitely comes up throughout the journey as well. And I think it's important to clock those things because you can just look forward to, like, where you're trying to go, or you can actually sit in the feelings as you experience them.
Is that something that you had to train yourself to do in a way, is, like, actually notice those moments and enjoy them while they're happening? Or have you always been able to, like, enjoy those steps along the way instead of getting caught up in, like, this 20 years from now projection of, like, all of those bigger goals?
It's a practice because I think when we're moving so fast in life, it's sometimes challenging to sit in the moment, and not that you're always, like, trying to move forward and things, it's just, like, literally, there's just a million things that need to get done in this singular day. I think there's, like, a difference between that and, like, people that can't find happiness in the present moment and are always reaching for more in the future, but I think also when you're a hustler and a ambitious person and you have a business that only you and your co-founder are running, you have so many responsibilities. I was moving so quickly in my life that it took very intentional time where I was, like, actually taking time off to sit and reflect in the moment, but I oftentimes, like, I don't give myself enough credit along the way. Other people recognize that and try to, pour back into me those things, but, like, it's not that I don't feel them, it's that I'm like, "Yeah, that's just, like, supposed to happen." Like, I'm not
Mm,
yes, this is exciting, but I'm like, that's also, like, what I expected from all the hard work that I did. Like, I expected to be successful in this or get this or whatever it is. Um, it's similar to the Forbes 30 under 30 and receiving that. It's like that feeling, I mean, I'll never forget that day that I woke up and saw, like, "Oh my god, like, we actually are in the Forbes 30 under 30 list." But it's like, I expected that because I had it as a goal for, I mean, 7 years, 6 years of, "I want this, and I'm gonna do everything I can in my power to get it," and the journey is the whole point. Because once you get there, it's like, "Yeah, I did it," you know? It's like the same thing as running a
yeah,
marathon. It's like, I expected to cross the finish line because I fucking trained for however long.
yeah. Absolutely. I can that belief of I prepared for this thing, I put in the work, so the outcome was inevitable. Can that live at the same time as the gratitude when the thing does happen?
Oh, I think so for sure. I mean, gratitude, I think, is the most important thing to practice. Because if you don't practice gratitude and you aren't in the present moment, I think you just, one, forget, and two, the universe cannot be giving you more things to be grateful for if you're not grateful for what you already have.
Very true. Yeah, I think that I share a very similar idea about success with you where I think I got it from playing sports and I saw that you had like played soccer growing up. So I'm curious if that's like kind of something that athletes just feel from growing up. But same kind of thing where I was yeah, of course we won the game. Like we showed up and we put all this practice in and then we did all the extra stuff and we studied film and like anything other than that outcome would just be a letdown. So like, yeah, it feels good that we won, but it's not like this crazy accomplishment that we did. Like we prepared for this and this is what we of course this is what happened. And I think that in that way, it also made the losses very like devastating and the wins just kind of like a checkbox. And I think that that unintentionally in a lot of ways transferred over to the business world for me as well, where I would find like losses or corrections or however you want to identify like bumps in the road. I would feel those a lot more than I would feel the wins because I'm like, oh, here's an opportunity to learn like why all the things that we're doing didn't result in success and figure out how we can get better in our team or for our customers or for whatever the thing is. But I think that that sense has made it difficult at times to like stop and actually have gratitude for the wins and not just see them as like check boxes along the way.
Yeah. Honestly, I relate to that in a big way. I think also now that we have a team, I see the team operating in that way too, where it's so easy to just move forward. It's like, yes, we checked the box for this win. Now it's like continue to move forward and like build. And then you get maybe more hunkered down in the things that you aren't doing. But I think it's a good practice to always come back to, like, not necessarily when the accomplishment is achieved or not achieved. It's like, I just want gratitude every day for the ability to show up, to even hold the possibility of that thing happening. So I think gratitude, it's like, yes, you can sit and like or like even like the small win celebrations, like I love those little parties that people have where they have the cake and they put their little small win, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I do think we all need to be celebrating ourselves more and giving ourselves some more slack when it comes to everything that we already have done. But I think it's like throughout the journey of winning or losing, whatever you want to define as a win or a loss, I think it's important throughout that journey to just practice gratitude along the way to be able to look back on things, maybe more so than in the singular moment of it happening, although that's also important because it's a good reminder to yourself of when you are maybe in a down point of your life or whatever, to go back and read some of the things if you are someone that can write it down. Like, I think it's important to write down those moments of wins that you had or little moments that made you feel good. So when you are in a different position in your life, you can be grateful along the journey, not just grateful for if it doesn't happen in the moment, you know?
For sure. Yeah, I think by doing that, you give yourself a lot more like area on the timeline to be enjoying yourself and like to have some of those small wins and some of those good moments instead of just being like, nope, there's one that's reserved at the very end, and either that circle is going to get filled with gratitude or it's going to be this whole timeline was a loss. And yeah, I think that it also alleviates a lot of the pressure of like, this thing only is a success or only is enjoyable if this dream outcome this far down the road happens. Because I do think that there's value in just like what you're saying, just like, I'm just grateful that I get to be part of the game right now. It's like if
Exactly.
we're you know?
Yeah, well, and it's like, be grateful for the good and the bad. Like, I just am like, I'm never not grateful. Like if something didn't work out, like I'm grateful that it didn't work out because it ultimately didn't work out for a reason. Like again, I'm very much a woo-woo, like spiritual, delusional optimist, all of the things. But like, yeah, if something didn't work out, it's pivoting me into a direction that I'm supposed to be in. Like The quote I think is oversaid and maybe a little cheesy, but I love it. And it's not rejection, it's redirection. It's the same thing with like a loss. It's like I'm not losing. I'm just being positioned at a different angle so I can chase this other thing or that we can do this other thing or whatever. It's like the same thing with the slingshot. You gotta pull it back to go forward. So it's it's something that I think a lot of people can get down on, but it's like, what is this showing me right now? Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's really it's a funny thing too because it's like I think a lot of the difficult moments we go through are easy to have gratitude for in hindsight, but really difficult to have gratitude for in the moment. Because
totally.
when we're on a podcast or when we're telling our story about how we got to where we are now, a lot of times it's like overcoming the challenges that we had and these big pivots that we made because of an obstacle we ran into. And those are like a lot of times the major milestones in the story that like makes where we turned out now a beautiful thing. So it's like to me, I think that if you're like driving in a car, these like difficult moments are very scary and like terrible looking when they're in the windshield. But as soon as they're in the rear view, it's like when you've driven like past a storm, there's like that like nice sunset, and, like golden hue of everything where it's like, oh, when it's back there, this hard moment was actually like a really beautiful thing. But when it's right in front of me, it looks like we were just like in the worst possible time. Like,
Wow.
how could we have gratitude for this? So
Yeah.
I think it's a good reminder to be able to look back and be like, oh, what I was feeling at the time was that this was the worst thing ever. But just like all of the things that happened before that, this turned out to be a really good thing for my story in the long run.
I love that analogy.
Heck yeah. Well, I think one of the things that I found really interesting about your story was you said that early on in the business, as we're talking about like goal setting and some of the accomplishments that you had, that you guys were using the EO system and had written out this like long form goal to launch and target in December of 24. Um, you mentioned like kind of like the woo woo side of things, and I think that this story is like a very cool like clash of manifestation and spirituality and like actual business practice and like making shit happen. And so I would love to hear more about like this moonshot goal that you guys set of launching in Target in December and like doing the dang thing like to the month.
I know that story, I still can't believe it because as you continue to like build a business and you want to do retail or whatever, you learn so much about like the timing and all odds are against us for the timing because there's 2 times that most brands launch in Target, and that's April and October. Typically, April is like the main month. We didn't know that at the time, but that wasn't the point. The point of the EOS model is to just get clear about your business, who you're building your business for, what your business stands on, and you get to be in this blue sky of okay, in 10 years from now, maybe we want to have a SEEQ festival, and we partner with the biggest DJs at the time or whatever. Like that's a crazy, crazy goal. And then you do your 3 year, which is a little bit more realistic. Like, what can we actually get done in 3 years? And that's where we put get into Target nationwide. Target was in our backyard. We started the business in Minnesota. And so that was like the dream retailer for us to launch with. And then you ground it out in like your 1 year plan. And that's way more serious, actually very tactical and actionable to achieve whatever goal you have there. So yeah, we were following this model and we put get into Target nationwide at that at December 2024 is where that would have brought us. And some things like I love talking to people who challenge manifestation and I do believe manifestation without action is like you're basically creating a journey with no map. But it's like we knew that was ahead of us. We just didn't know the timing of it. So when we were planning, 2024, Target was not on our radar. Like, we were not planning to launch in Target at the time. We're, like, at the end of 2023. We're planning for the year. Retail's not the plan. And, again, we planted this seed years ago, and it's, like, December 2023, and we get a cold email from, a broker, a retail broker, and they reach out, and they're like, "Hey, Target's hosting this innovation summit. They've never done it before. We can bring 2 brands to represent for a 15-minute pitch to Target, and your brand came up in some data, and we wanna rep you." And we had just set the plan for the year. We're like, "This was not on our radar." And we obviously said yes. We're like, "Absolutely, like, we will have a pitch together within the next week, like, we'll figure."
Yeah.
And, yeah, we went, like, balls to the wall trying to put this presentation together and get the right information, put the right energy into it, and ended up pitching them, like, 3 weeks later in their headquarters, and we had 15 minutes. It was a conference room, you walk in, and we wanted to bring different energy to it, and so we're like, "We're standing during this, like, we're giving, like, a pitch, we're not sitting at this conference table going through a slide deck, like, I want you to feel something from this."
Mhm.
And yeah,
We're
I mean,
bringing a DJ.
honestly honestly, bring a DJ to your retail pitch, that honestly might work. Uh,
Seriously.
and yeah, so we loved like, we loved getting to know them, they loved getting to know us. It was really such a beautiful partnership that was budding at the time, and they were like, "We see an opportunity for you guys to launch in December, at the end of December, early January, because we're highlighting protein and health brands and whatever," and we were all about it. We wouldn't have in-aisle placement, but we would be launching in Target, and we would have front of store placement, and that's where you could find SEEQ. And so we were absolutely jazzed about this, and then I looked back at some of the stuff. I'm like, when did we put that on our like radar and put it on our wish list? And then I found the first little one sheet that we had of all of our 3-year goals. And I was like, see, sometimes manifestation, it really does just happen when
Mm.
you least expect it, when it's not on your radar, when you're not even trying to put action towards it necessarily. But we were always putting action towards just what's right in front of us and what we know needs to happen to reach the next goal, that it ultimately was a matter of time before that domino fell.
It's so cool. I don't know why, but to me, it just brought up this like analogy or this idea of swimming, where like a lot of times I feel like swimming across the lake and you know where you're like where the island is that you're trying to get to. You're like looking for where it is, like when you're standing on the shore and like directionally setting your sights there. But then your head is like in the water and you're like going stroke by stroke the whole way to get there. And I think that the whole manifestation thing is a lot more about like looking up every once in a while and reminding yourself where that goal is and less about, like, trying to doggy paddle and just stare at it the entire way because you might not ever get there.
Totally. I love that.
That's so interesting to me because hearing that story, I was curious if this was a target you guys were, like, actively pursuing all the time, but it's really cool to hear that it's like, "Wait, when did we set that one goal that we weren't even gonna do this year?" And it's like, "Wow, to the month."
Can't make
Ah,
that
it's so
up.
neat. Yeah, seriously. Did that change or maybe, like, reinforce any of your outlook on goal setting or writing things down or manifestation? Like, did that change any of your outlook on maybe, like, some of the power that you had to, like, set the direction in your life and in your business?
I've always been a big believer in writing out your goals and coming back to them, and it doesn't have to be an every single day thing. It could be, like, a couple times a year that you just write down what you want in this life, and so that's something that I've always felt is pretty true to me, but I think it was and when it comes to business, I think it's really easy to have shiny object syndrome, and you get so excited about all the different opportunities and things, but
Vape
this one
juice.
exactly. But yeah, this one for me, like, it solidified that having a plan and taking actions towards that plan, like, to me, it's like, it's impossible to not reach your goals when you have a goal and you break it down into the steps to get there and you're taking each day by day a step to cross one of those things off, like, it's impossible to not get to where you wanna go, so it was confirmation on that, and also, it really was a moment in time where now this is becoming more real. It was, like, the same with the Mark Cuban moment, like, it became more real in that moment when we pitched Target and everyone loved it, and now we're seeing ourselves in retail. That also was one of those moments that it became more real, and this category is here to stay. Like, we've already come up on data, like, there's already brands coming up with the same type of product, similar branding or whatever. We know that we're on the right track, like, all of those moments, again, confirmation, confirmation, confirmation. Retail, to be able to say at some point in our journey that we're a household name, that's one of our goals. Like, we have to get into retail, and so when they said yes, it was like, we are that much closer to our dreams and our goals, And so it was definitely one of those moments that it just became more real and more confirmed for us that we know what we're building, but getting validation really helps fuel what's go ahead of us.
That's so cool to hear. One of the things that I get curious about is I hear you talking about like these moments where it feels more real and more real. I'm curious for you, where you're at in your journey now. Does it has it taken longer for this project to feel like quote unquote real than you thought it might when you were first starting?
Oh, no, I think when we first got started, it felt real, like, from the beginning. I was like, "Yeah, we're gonna be a $100 million brand," like, I see it so clearly, and, um, I think now that there is more competition, we are in more retailers, we're in a brand new ballgame. I've never been here before, and so now
Mhm.
I would say it's more challenging than before because I still feel when we were first getting launched and stuff, I'm like, "We're definitely the underdogs here," you know, like, we are pretty fresh out of college, we don't have a big team, we don't have a big budget, we don't have distribution, we're just an e-commerce brand. But there was this, I don't wanna say it was like cockiness, it was like we were one of the only ones doing it, so that it's like there was no one to really, like, compare us against to, and now we're competing with brands that are like they're legacy brands. They have also dozens of other products. They have millions of dollars, and yes, we have grown our business, and yes, we have the distribution, and yes, our budgets have grown, but we are not like riding the backs of a ton of investment. We just raised for the first time last year, which allowed us to grow into more retailers ultimately, but it's not a big enough cushion for us to say, like, oh, let's run the same playbook that some of these other brands run when it comes to creator partnerships or affiliates or events, or free seating or you name it. It's like we don't have that ability still. So I feel like now even more so that we're the underdogs compared to legacy brands. So I almost feel like now that the landscape has changed, we're in a brand new ball game. It creates just new feelings of like motivation, but also like, how are we gonna get past this? When at the beginning it was like, yeah, we got the whole road ahead of us, but now we're like on the road and all of a sudden there's like three different directions and turns and like one of them leads somewhere and the other one doesn't. Like there's just way more complexities to it as you continue to scale your business. The bigger you grow, the bigger problems you have. And
Yeah.
that's kind of where we're at right now.
That's so cool. I think the reason why the whole like the realness thing really set in for me is because there's the I went to a Chris Williamson live show last year, and one of the things that really stuck with me is he said that it's false that the happiness that you're looking for is on the other side of the next goal you're setting out to achieve. And I think that there's also this thing in business where like you feeling like a successful business owner or like you have a real business or whatever is on the next like revenue milestone or the next retailer you end up in or something like that. And so to me, it's like you've got these massive moments where you sell out 4,000 units in your first order and then you sell your next one out on pre-sale and then Mark Cuban's doing your thing. Then you're in Target. Like I think that somebody who's at the beginning of that road that you're talking about is like, well, does she feels like she made it already? Does she feels like it's real? But to have that felt sense or to hear that even along your journey, it's like, well, there's still a lot of these milestones where like then we'll feel like we did the thing, or then we'll feel like it's real. I'm curious for you, like how you experience that like moving goalpost sort of thing, and like how you like manage that as a founder, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, I relate to that a lot, I would say right now, because it's sometimes I mean, the imposter syndrome obviously comes up all the time. Like, I'm 28 years old, I'm still very young on my own career, and I'm around so many incredible businesses at this point. Like, last week, I was speaking on a panel after Mary Ruth, and Mary Ruth Organics has built, like I mean, they're gonna be doing, like, damn near 100 million just on TikTok, like, they're a massive brand. So when you're in rooms like that, you start to feel this, like, this motivation because you've seen someone else do something and, like, built an incredible business, and then you also are like, "Yes," but then being in a room of, like, people that are just getting started, early stage founders, it's like that feeling, it's so interesting because I could go to that event and feel this imposter syndrome of like, oh my gosh, like we have to do this, we have to do that. There's so many things to like get to our big goal, which that goalpost has never changed, being $100 million brand. But then you go into a room of founders that are just getting started, early stage. They've maybe just launched their business. They're getting maybe 5 figures in revenue. It's like to them and in your own feeling, like you're like, wow, I am really successful and I have built a really strong business that like inspires these people. So it's like such a weird paradox there of like those two feelings. But I think it's important. Like when me and Ben, again, that Mark Cuban moment and like around December of 2021, that was the moment that we decided we are going to be $100 million brand. That goalpost has been cemented in our future, what we're building for SEEQ. That goalpost has not changed. It's the little goals along the way that we've had to either pivot or decide to move or come closer, like whatever, to allow us to continue to grow. And there's been so many moments where like hiring people or shifting the team or even moving out here or partnering with a third party. It's like all these different things are going to lead us up to the next goal that we have. So I think it's important to like have a lot of foresight into what you're trying to build, like, have a big goal in mind that's like, this is I mean, we wanna exit at some point, so 100 million just feels like a nice number, like, I just like that, it's
Yeah.
pretty, you know?
Yeah.
Like, let's just go all in. So that I think is important, but allowing the goals along the way to shift and ebb and flow as the business also ebbs and flows. Like, be realistic with the here and now.
Absolutely. I think with some of the goals that you're approaching now that you guys have like hit some of the targets that you have, you've talked about hiring pretty heavily inside of your guys' like leadership team and hiring an operator in your first couple of years of business. What is it like now having these big goals and like having your role in the organization shift a little bit? I've heard you describe it as like your baby is like graduating college and there's like other people that are raising it now and like starting to like do the dang thing. So what is that transition feeling like to you now that you still have these big goals, but you've got a lot of other people who are involved in like making them happen?
Yeah, it's honestly like I look back at all of it and like the team that we have right now, and first, I'm just so incredibly grateful to have people who believe in the vision. Like, I think that is just I mean, it is the most important thing to bring people on your team that not only have the skill set, but also can see where this business can go. And the fact that we have people on our team that, like, most of our team at this point, I'd love to find the actual average age, but like, I would say the average age has to be like 40 years old. Again, I'm 28 years old. So, like, we have built a business that not only takes me seriously and Ben seriously and the business seriously, like, that is so important. And we are providing for their families and their livelihood. And I just think that's really freaking cool. So, that's like blanket statement over just the feeling of growing a team. But the ability to trust these people that we've brought in with what we've built, I'd say in more areas than not, I'm very comfortable with. Like operations, supply chain, finance, retail, like sales, like that stuff. Like, yes. The marketing side, that's like been my baby since the beginning. Like I was running everything from building and designing the website, the socials, graphics, like labels. Like I was doing so much of the dirty work myself. And letting that go, it was like it allows you as a founder to be in the position that only you can be in. Because at the end of the day, am I the best designer? No. Am I the best copywriter? No. Like, I think being a founder, and an entrepreneur, you're a jack of all trades, and you're able to be, pretty good at most things, but not really great at one of those things. And your thing is like, I can see the whole picture and I know the right players that need to play to allow this to grow into the brand that we want it to grow into. So don't get in your own way as a founder. And that's been more recently since we brought in a VP of marketing, a big challenge for me that I was going through just a couple months ago on what my role is going to look like to allow and empower her to run. I cannot be involved in the day to day. I cannot be involved in little decisions. I cannot be involved in, "Hey, social isn't really how I want it to look right now," but, like, that's wasted energy in this moment, and it only distracts from the direction that we need to go and what she needs to be focused on. So it's a big challenge to let go of certain areas of the business for myself, more in the marketing side, but it's coming back to your own zone of genius, your own superpower. What is the special sauce that you have that nobody else has, that we cannot hire for? And for me, that's relationships, and that's showing up and being the person talking about the brand in the way that only a founder can talk about the brand, to sell the brand, to get people excited about it, to share whatever you need to share about it. And stepping into that role and making it really meaningful and knowing that everything I'm doing here just has intangible value. So figuring out my own kind of way to complement the leadership team that we've brought in and not step on their toes has been a dance for sure, and also like a process. Like I never thought, looking back, I don't think that version of me that was meeting Ben and thinking about clear protein and getting fired up about it, I don't think I ever saw myself in a position where I wasn't deeply involved in the day to day. So that was a learning curve for sure. But it also is like getting clear about what you want and don't want. Like if I wanted to be the CMO of SEEQ at any point in this business, I could have decided to do that, but I got clear about it. And I actually just found my journal where I wrote that I don't think I want to be the CMO of this business. And this was like 3 years ago. And it's like you need to be clear about what you want and don't want. And again, like leaving pride and ego at the door, that's not the purpose of growing your business. Maybe if it's a hobby business and it's like, this is going to be something that I build, I'm going to get, a couple $100,000 every year, not going to hire a big team, but that's not what we're trying to build. So yeah, it's been a dance. I went on a tangent there. It's important.
Yeah, for sure. I can tell it's definitely present for you right now.
Yeah.
And it's really beautiful thing to have that be like the next thing that you're learning, because I'm sure that there's been so many things along the way that you've had to learn about the entire marketing game, and now for like the next level to be, now you have to learn how to like take all of that stuff that you learned and like hand it to somebody, and for you to focus on different things. It's like a secret hidden level that's maybe harder than all the rest of them leading up
I
to
think
it.
it is. I think this is the most challenging part of the business that now I'm feeling really good about it. I'm like thriving in this moment. But if you were talking to me in May, I would have been like, honestly, I need to just cocoon right now. I got a lot of reflecting to do.
Yeah. Yeah, for fair enough.
Yeah.
One of the things that, that I've noticed you start to focus on with, like, some of the pivots that you're making is it seems like you're putting a lot more effort into building, like, a personal brand around your presence on social media and starting to, like, inspire other founders and dream chasers and things, on your own page. And I'm curious for you what you're hoping to put out into the world with that, and then B, what it's like pushing out your face after spending so many years, like, having Ben be kind of like the spearhead of all of the social media effort that you guys were doing.
Yeah. This was definitely something that I've always wanted to pour more into, but it felt very positioned that I'm like, it only needs to be about Seek. It can only be about Seek. And that is just not who I am in my day-to-day life. Like, you're gonna get every aspect of who I am, from the spiritual side to just the friend to the person that's convincing you that you can do anything. Like, there's so many versions of me that exist. And so in this reflection process of, okay, this new chapter of being a founder and building my personal brand to allow not only for credibility and opportunities to come through, but also to be a potential lane for consumers, and figuring out what all that looks like. It's like, okay, personal brand important. That's what I need to focus on. And that breakthrough of, okay, I don't want to just show up as like solely Seek. I really just lifted, honestly, all the pressure off of social for me, and it allowed me to be more authentic in how I wanted to show up, which is ultimately like we're doing right now. Like, I mean, this episode probably will be clipped up, but it's like there's so many takeaways from this that I have that you've brought here, where like I'm like, I love the different analogies where I'm like, after this, I could go sit in my journal and write and then rip a few videos because I'm so inspired by this. It's like, I just wanna show up like I'm on a podcast with Drew, but in my day-to-day life, and just speak to the camera like it's a person that either, one, it's a message that I needed to hear at some point, it's a perspective shift that I had recently, and just not really thinking too much about it. And It's been really cool to see just the people that have reached out to me, or even more recently, someone posted a video on their feed that I follow, and it was like everything that I've preached, and I'm just like, and he's basically sharing like, I'm tired of other people living their dream life and not me. And I commented on the video and just like loved it and giving him kudos on it. And he was like, if you couldn't tell, this was inspired by your videos. And I'm like,
Oh man.
fucking cool. Like I know my purpose here is literally just to allow people to see themselves and to know what they're capable of doing. And I don't know where it's gonna go. I think ultimately there's, I mean, so many paths that I've already thought about, but I think I just want to inspire people. I wanna be a light on the page. I want people to recognize that there's more to life than a 9 to 5 or the comfort that they're choosing. Like, that's really my goal at the end of the day.
I love it. You said before we started recording that one of the things that you really hope to drive home for people is that it's okay to put them at the center of their world. And I'm curious what that means for you and how you would describe that to somebody who you're like really trying to help that land for.
Yeah, thanks for bringing it back. I didn't really weave that through as much as I probably could have. We talked about so many amazing things. But a lot of it honestly does come back to putting yourself at the center of your world. And I think we oftentimes live our lives for other people, and we have voices in our head that we think are ours that we've adopted. And I think it's important to get clear about what you want and in this moment, not about, you don't need to be thinking years and years and years ahead unless that's like how you like to think. I have no idea where I'll be a year from now. So I'm like, where will I be in the next 3 months? What am I calling in the next 6 months? And really allowing yourself to ebb and flow through life in a way that fuels you. So coming back to your own energy, coming back to your own cup, pouring back into yourself, whether that's a simple day-to-day routine where, hey, at 2 o'clock, I go and I move my body because it's important to me. And I know I don't want to do it at the morning and I don't want to do it at night. Whatever your thing is, like it could be, I'm gonna make food for myself and I'm gonna take time to do it. And like just doing small things for yourself, I think is so important because we're always pouring into other things, whether that's building a business, whether that's taking care of your family or the people around you and your relationships. And we put ourselves last so many times, and everything around you will benefit if you focus on the thing that will make you the happiest.
So beautiful. Mic drop. I love it. Well, I've been incredibly inspired by the content that you've put out that way, and I think that it's really special that given all of the things that you've achieved in the business world and personally, for you to take that perspective and then also reach back and help people who are along all the different phases of their journey kind of do the same. I think that that's really special, and it's something that I wish that more people did in like the way that you're doing it because it doesn't feel preachy. It doesn't feel like a panel or like a mastermind or something where it's like, I'm imparting my wisdom on you and this is how you should do life. So I think that the message that you're putting out is a really beautiful one. And I think that like the ripple effect that it's going to have because of the message and because of your platform is just massive. So very grateful that among all of the other things that you're building in the world, you're also choosing to put that out as well.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's great feedback.
Yeah, of course. Okay, last question I have before we get out of here. You mentioned that in your freshman year of soccer, you got this award that you were kind of salty about at the time
Yeah.
of most disciplined. I'm curious for you right now, what is the award, whether it's a common one or a uncommon one, that you would be most proud of receiving right now?
That's a great question. Ah, award that I'd be, like, most proud of receiving right now. Um, I'm honestly gonna say, like, the feel good reward. Uh, I make people feel good. When you're around me, you feel good, and I think that is something that I deeply care about, and I think is super important in the relationships around me is and how I show up in every room, like, not only do I wanna feel good, and I think the underlying tone, like, our core value is in SEEQ, we have 6 different core values, but it ends with, "But most importantly, feel good doing it." And it comes back to putting yourself at the center of your world. It comes back to how you treat others. But yeah, I'd say the feel good award.
All right, beautiful. What would the little award look like?
I'm picturing just like this is so funny, but yeah, I just picture like a smiley face, but also like flexing.
Yeah. Hell yeah. I love it. Spoken like a true protein and macro conscious founder.
True, true.
Oh, I love it. Well, I know that you've got to run. Thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Like I said, your message is awesome, and we will connect everybody with places to find you in the bottom of the description for this. Is there anything that you want to leave people with as we're getting out of here, or anywhere that they can find you, or things that they can do to support you?
I mean, yeah, find me on Instagram. Would love to connect. You can find Seek at anywhere that you shop, Walmart, Target, Sam's Club, Vitamin Shop. And I think just vacation, like plan a vacation right now for yourself. I went to a timeshare meeting last week, whole other can of worms, but I'm realizing the average American is just not taking enough time to go see the world and go vacation. So I'm gonna leave people with plan that vacation that you've been putting off.
Bang, I love it. All righty. Well, we'll mic drop right there. Thank you again so much for the time today. This has been extremely inspiring to me, and I'm looking forward to seeing all the other things that you do with Seek and all the things you put out into the world with all your messaging too.
I appreciate you, Drew. This was phenomenal. Thank you.
All righty. Awesome. Yep. All right. Thank you for listening, everybody, and be where your feet are. We love you.